Hi and welcome everyone to another episode of Hobo Prepper, and there is the dog, Molly. Alright, so anyways, the reason why I am making a video today is one, I haven't done one in about a week, but I've been packing for my trip and I've been making some changes. Some of the things that I want to talk about when it comes to not only prepping for a long trip, prepping for SHTF, or just how you run yourself in your daily life. Now, when SHTF happens, a lot of the system that we have, which is a limited liability system, will not exist the way that we see it today. So what is a limited liability system? The easiest way for me to explain it is it's a way for you to get all the benefits with none of the responsibility. Because for instance, and this is how a lot of freemen operate, because it is a limited liability system. So instead of going out and operating as myself by my legal name and going out and operating like that, what I would do is I would create a limited liability company, an LLC. And I would be operating under something called in persona conjuncta, which means persons conjoined. It means you are not acting as yourself in your legal person, you are acting as a limited liability organization. And so that's how you separate your person from the public and kind of slowly withdraw yourself from the system, because the thing is your company, your LLC, is going to be the one getting all the stuff that's going on in the public, so it protects you while allowing you to operate in the public, because you have a limited liability. They can only take what that company has generated. They cannot come and take any of your personal assets. And so there are people that misuse this, and a lot of what they'll do is they will take a lot of their high-end assets, they'll transfer them into their person and just leave a little bit of assets. That way they could go and do things that they don't need to do. But see, that is what a limited liability system is all the benefits and none of the responsibility. So when SHTF happens, the limited liability system is going to get a lot of people hurt. The reason why it's going to get a lot of people hurt is going to change a lot of things, because there are people out there in this world that when they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it. If they don't do it, there is usually a really, really good reason. It's not an excuse. It's more like I ran into all these obstacles, I'm delayed, or whatever's happening. Okay, you have that ability. But on the same sense, those same people are going to be holding you to your agreement, because when the reason why the American system has been as successful as it is because it has operated under a foundation of trust. And so what I mean by a foundation of trust is that everybody in the world trusts that the US dollar is going to be the US dollar, and it's always going to be there. And so they have trust in that system. Okay, and in the same way, when there is a discrepancy, you have the legal system that is supposed to act as a disinterested third party, which we're not seeing that happen anymore. But this is the way that the legal system used to operate, which is to be a disinterested third party, to be a referee, to look at both sides and actually make a decision based upon whether or not, like, what's right, what's wrong. And it's going to be using the local customs and the local culture to be able to make that decision, because that's really what dictates the law. So when Billy Meyer talks about morals being a guideline by which society operates, under the common law, yes, that would work, but under admiralty and statutory law, that doesn't necessarily work, because under the statutory system, I can take something that is illegal, immoral, and unethical and make it moral, legal, and ethical just because I wrote it into law. And so when Billy Meyer says that, yes, he's right, but that only really works in a common law system where you're operating off the law of the land instead of off of the law of the sea. Okay, and so I wanted to draw a distinguish, because as somebody, it's one of my favorite followers. He goes by A1111 whatever. I'm gonna start nicknaming him Steak Sauce. So hey, Steak Sauce, that was the answer that I told you that I would give you, which is that morals, yes, they work, and it's a system by which we govern ourselves, but it's not necessarily with the system that we're under right now. That argument goes out the window, because we're using the wrong system. It's like trying to put jet fuel in a Kia Sorento. It's not gonna work. I mean, it might work for a little while, but that's gonna destroy the engine because of the combustion content. So getting back onto topic, talking about fulfilling your obligations and so on and so forth. So when we go away from the limited liability system, honoring your obligations is probably going to be the most important thing for you to do, and honoring them even to your own detriment. And see, because I've lived my life so long as a free man, this is how I live my life. And there are times even now where I get into obligations that as I get into it, I'm like, you know what, this was really, I got a raw deal on this. I don't feel that this is fair. Now, you do have the opportunity to renegotiate, but you're going to lose character points when you renegotiate. You fulfill your obligation. You say, okay, you got me on this one. I'm not gonna do it again. And you honor your obligation. You move on. You don't do business with that person. And see, this is what will make the haves and the have-nots, is based upon your integrity, your ability to follow through on a commitment that you make. So if you say, I'm gonna hand my phone down to you as a hand-me-down for whatever reasons you and I agree on, and then you don't do that, well, see, now you can get away with that and go, oh, it sucks to be you. I got what I wanted. Oh, well. And, you know, you're left going whatever. And that person's left being screwed. But you take away that limited liability system, that person is liable to get hurt, on the extreme sense, or on the least extreme sense, will be ostracized from society, because society and when you're in a community, having trust is important. When somebody says, I'm going to do something, that means that they're going to do it. They say, I'm going to be here, even though I don't want to be here. I say I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here no matter how much I hate it. And so sometimes also that you got to worry about, and this is something that started to happen to me, and this is something that I'm having to be a lot more aware of, is that when you get around people that don't honor their commitments, that don't fulfill their obligations, that starts to rub off on you, because it becomes socially acceptable. And instead of holding yourself to those standards, you start dropping your standards. And at that point in time, that's usually a sign that maybe those are the people you shouldn't be around, because it's going to work out to your overall survival as life goes on. Because the people that you can trust, the people that you can count on, the people that you know are going to show up and do what they say that they're going to do, even though they don't want to, they might even bitch and complain the whole time. Oh, well, they showed up, they did it. You just don't do business with them again. You don't swindle them. You don't refuse to pay them. You don't do any of that. Your course of action is, I'm no longer doing business with you. If that person does that to enough people, they will not be able to survive. Or they will do it to enough people to where they will have to learn a lesson that maybe I'm losing business because I'm not honoring my commitments. People don't want to be around me because I'm not honoring my commitments. Well, this is what will happen over time. So do you have to go and thrash that guy because he didn't honor his commitment? No. The universe, the way that the mechanics of the universe works, will work out into your favor to a point to where honoring your commitments will put you in a better position. It's one of those things where they say nice guys finish last, but that's not necessarily true. It's not that nice guys finish last. It's that nice guys, if they stay nice guys throughout the time, will end up in the long term having more success, because the thing is those that are crooked and corrupt and reckless and irresponsible, they're going to have instant success. Okay, because what they're doing is unethical, and they're taking advantage of the trust that was built within the community, and they're using that for their own profit and gain. And after a while, that destroys trust within the community, which then makes it much harder to be able to do business. Okay, and these are things that you definitely should be thoughtful or aware of. It's just that trust is the foundation of building business and of building anything. And so moving forward in SHTF, make sure you're honoring your obligations, even if you don't want to, even if you're getting screwed, even if you're getting a raw deal. Because again, your recourse is to no longer do business with that person, to no longer work with that person. Your recourse is that. Their recourse or their consequence is, one, they don't get any more money from you. They don't get any more resources from you. And this works out to your benefit. So with that, hey, if you want to buy me lunch, there is a link down in the description. You can buy me lunch. or you can help me buy new gear if you want to donate, or if you like the gear that I talk about and that I'm using. There's also affiliate links down in the description. Hey, it helps the channel out. It's going to be what supports me. This is part of my revenue stream, one of my revenue streams. Other than that, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.